Opioid addiction in North Alabama. It's from the perspective of a woman who has been there, and now after turning her own life around, she has big plans to help others.
Do your kids know the story?
They do know the story.
It was the moment Jocelyn James said she knew she had hit rock bottom.
My name came across the TV screen. It was like Franklin County's Most Wanted, Jocelyn James, and I just threw my hands up and I'm like, I'm tired. So I called the sheriff and I asked him what to do, and he said, come turn yourself in.
James was charged with third-degree receiving stolen property, fraudulent use of a credit card, and criminal possession of stolen credit cards. She told me it was her addiction to opioids that led her down that dark path. It began after doctors found cancerous cells on her ovaries. After 6 surgeries, James had a hysterectomy. Doctors prescribed her opioids for the pain.
And then after I had my final surgery, I couldn't get the medicine anymore, so I became an IV user. So I was shooting up about 16 times a day.
Franklin County District Attorney Joey Rushing told Way 31 that these types of cases are echoed all across the state. And too often, the situations don't end with the people getting the help they need. According to the National Institute on Drug Abuse, in 2017, there were 422 opioid-related drug deaths in the state of Alabama. Of that number, 167 people had prescriptions. That means the rest obtained the drugs illegally. And just last week, the federal government awarded Alabama 2 grants totaling $400,000 to alleviate rural opioid abuse. 40 states received grants of $24 million in all as part of an initiative to implement prevention, treatment, and recovery programs for substance use disorders in rural communities.
You know, in Alabama itself, from what I understand from local attorneys that are involved in some class actions and some of that, Alabama is either number 1 or number 2, according to which study you look at, as far as the number of opioid cases and the addiction level of the people, citizens in the country here. So we have a very high problem. Locally, we have a very, very bad problem with opioids. In fact, our drug problem in our county has increased every year, and it's been to the point where I would even say it was out of control.
After going to jail, James got the help she needed through a rehabilitation program. Now she is working on creating Franklin County's first full-service rehabilitation center exclusively for women who are working to overcome what she went through. James says it will be called Place of Grace.
I mean, all of our legal documents have been done. Our board has been established, and we're waiting on the funds. We've already started fundraising with T-shirts, and we're doing a fundraiser at Pizza Hut in Russellville next week.
Rushing says he has faith in James, and she has a lot of community support for what she's trying to accomplish.
Through her bad times and now her good times, and I've never seen somebody that has a genuine heart like she does to try to open up a program like this, and has worked tirelessly to get this thing open. And she knows, because of her own experiences, how desperately Franklin County needs this rehab.
James told me she plans to have the facility open by next year. So far, James has raised $8,000 for this project. She also just applied for a $1 million grant for the program. James told me she needs $100,000 to open the doors to the facility in Franklin County.